Welcome to the show, and here are your hosts, the diabolical elite gaming guru, the illustrious Red Dead Panda, and the Australian stud Ashtray Gaming. So let's get this party started. Shit. Yeah. Welcome to another episode of the GIP podcast, episode 59, starring myself, Red Dead Panda, and Ashtray Gaming. Hello, guys. Come in for a hug, because I wasn't here last week. Come in for a hug.
It was a bit sleazy, but we don't want to upset your cousin and stuff.
It started off
surgery.
You should see what I'm wearing, Ashtray. I'll send you a picture.
Okay.
Well, a funny story. Yeah, they were. They replaced and removed the wrong thing. Yeah. I now have toes for arms. So. Yeah. Yeah, it makes it hard when I'm typing. Yeah, I'll send you a picture of my toe. Yeah, one toe. A little toe for one arm and a big toe for the other arm. Did you miss me? Nobody asked.
Great show.
Yeah. Sound was off.
Nice one. Elite, what have you been playing?
Right, actually, no. I've been playing that. Oh, what's it called? The roller coaster, the skating game. I can't remember what it's called. The skating game by Ubisoft, which I'm quite enjoying. I've also been playing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but I've stopped all that for Naraka. Yeah, I'm loving that game. Have you been playing it?
Yeah. I jumped into it last night. Had a couple of rounds of it. It's pretty fun.
I find it really easy.
In co-op,
I keep winning most games. I don't know what's going down, but I keep winning most games. I'm obliterating people. What guy are you playing?
Don't know the character's name. The chick with the blindfold.
Right. Yeah, I'm playing a monk, and his special ultimate is that he turns into a big guy with four arms. And
nice. Okay.
Yeah, and he has four arms. I don't know if he's like a god or something, but he turns into this big massive thingy. And yeah, he just pounds people. I'm finding it quite easy. I'm running around with a spear and I'm just obliterating people with it. And like one moment, like my team got wiped and I was running towards the end, and then three guys rushed me, and I took all three of them out easily. I was like, what? This is what? I was confused that I was doing so well. I don't know what it is, but I am amazing. So it just could be.
Oh, they can't hear you?
Oh, so it was just quiet then.
What? That's interesting.
Oh.
We'll have to.
Can you guys hear me now?
The Red's part again.
All right.
Can you hear her talking now? She wasn't sounding much interesting, to be honest.
Yeah, I really wasn't. I just made a whole heap of jokes at Elite's expense and was really mean, as per usual.
Yeah, that's why I muted her. She was just saying horrible things about her sister, so we muted her. Because we know Coral's the better one.
It should be working.
The better one. You're terrible.
I had BIOS updates, guys, so I think it was like another update, so I think that's probably what it was. But I checked out all my other audio. Okay. And it should
Are we okay now? Can everyone hear you?
I know.
Yeah.
There's always something in it, though, isn't there, with these PCs? That's why I like playing on console.
Oh,
Yeah, pieces are rubbish.
toxic.
Pieces
Just
of
do it.
shit.
Yeah, shit. Elitist. Idiots.
Well, I've been playing some Forza Horizon 5, thanks for asking, and some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as well.
That game's
I
fun.
unlocked, yeah, it's heaps of fun. I unlocked Casey Jones as well. You get an achievement for playing a level with him, so that's pretty cool. Jumped into some Fall Guys as well. Played some of that with Boba Fett Gaming. That's a bit of fun. That'd be great on community game
I think
night.
that's what we're
if I'm
playing
ever
tonight.
awake for it. And a little bit of Fortnite as usual. But yeah, there you go. Some good games there. So everyone, let us know if you can hear.
They're saying
Red.
yes, they can hear me now. Apologies, guys.
Okay. And let us know the volumes if we need to adjust the volumes so we sort of sound the same.
Yeah. How's our audio
Sorry, Rick.
now? No, you're fine. I'm happy with that. I'll just quickly repeat what I was saying before around that I have been playing some more Sniper Elite 5. I haven't actually played. I played a little bit of Halo, I think, with Zemi the other day, and some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as well. The only issue with that is like the glitchiness when you're playing with other people. Like we have to, you know how we kept running into the issue where we had to keep reloading the stage because people didn't load in. Like it cut the, oh my god, the story bit at the intro at the beginning, and then it just didn't work. Yeah.
Yep.
Been watching, what did I watch? Umbrella Academy season 3, and
What? When was that advertised?
what?
When was that season 3 advertised? When was that
Ages
start?
ago. It started on Wednesday, which was my Thursday. So
That's not that long ago.
yeah.
Should exaggerate that
I
massively.
mean, it was advertised ages ago, but it's now out.
I never. Well, it's on Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah.
See it pop up on Netflix. Shit. I've been watching The Boys though.
Oh yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's
That and
just
Love
amazing.
Island.
Did you say Love Island?
I knew you'd catch that.
Seriously? I
Yeah.
can't watch that crap. Sorry to anyone who likes watching that stuff, but
Yeah,
I just
sorry.
hate all of those TV shows like
Okay.
that. Not for me.
Okay.
All right.
Waves.
All right. I mean, sorry.
Well, I reckon
Right.
we should probably look at our
Should you
first
roly
topic.
poly?
See if-
Did anyone catch this though? Has anyone watched the 12-minute video? If you haven't, Asobo Studios finally showed extended gameplay of A Plague's Tale Requiem. And so that's coming to GamePass day 1 on the 18th of October. It's also coming to PlayStation. It's not an Xbox exclusive. It is a third-party title. But have any of you guys watched the gameplay yet?
Indeed, I have.
What did you guys
Indeed,
think?
I have. So yeah, so what they show you is sort of the quarry area of the game.
Yep.
And it looks like pretty much the same sort of stealth mechanics which you'd expect, with the added ability to sort of see through walls and see enemies, which I always like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's
same.
that's sort of been done in a lot of games, but it's a great mechanic. I always like it. It does seem to be more violent, which is kind of cool as well. She's actually now sort of, getting up behind people and stealth attacking them by stabbing them in the chest or neck area. So that's kind of cool.
Gonna make life easier, right? Because before you couldn't, and you were like,
Yeah, exactly. So it looks like they've sort of improved on the gameplay style there, and obviously they're going to have. It's just a guess, but I'd say that they'll still have all those puzzles and things in between sort of levels and stuff like that. So I still haven't finished the first one. I'm probably about halfway to 3/4 of the way through it. So I do need to finish that before I get to this, but I know now that it's launching on the 18th of October, I've got some time to get that done. But yeah, no, it looks good. Graphics are good. They were good in the first game anyway. So they'll probably be slightly improved. And I just think it'll probably feel a little bit, gameplay-wise, mechanic-wise, will just feel a little bit smoother
yeah,
than the
because
first one.
it definitely feels like they've got a bit more of a bigger budget behind it, and maybe a slightly bigger team who's working on that particular title. And I mean, even watching it in 4K on the YouTube video itself, there's still compression in there. So actually playing it natively on your console, you will actually get the full fledged experience of that title. And I've said this time and time again, I really, really, really would love Xbox to acquire Asobo, because Asobo, they've worked with them for years and years and years. I mean, Asobo did Flight Simulator and such, and I thoroughly, like, from the small team that did the first Plague's Tale to and that game, when that came out, I was like blown away around that, kind of like how I was blown away with the small team that did Hellblade. Like, and the time and effort and the love you can see that they put into them. They're not perfect, but once they had a second chance to do another title, and they're just influx of money or just a slightly bigger team does make a big difference. And I mean, there's still things that they're going to work on. I mean, like watching that stream, I was like, it's a bit choppy, but there's time for further optimization, and we don't know what this particular snapshot, what build it was. Yeah. But Elite, have you watched this? And before I can continue, just shout out to the chat. We appreciate you guys every week joining us, and for those who came over to my channel last week and joined us there as well, thank you so much. Like, we've got Boba Fett Gaming in the chat, my twins in the chat, Coral, hey. Wild Horse, Pyro, Shizno Elite. You guys are amazing as per usual, and to everyone else, thanks, and hit that like button. Yeah.
Slap that like.
But Elite, have you watched the gameplay for this, or is this something you'll possibly be interested in? I'm going to go with probably a big fat. Am I right?
Yeah, this is definitely something I'll skip. Yeah. Yeah. It does look really nice. Because I can appreciate a good-looking game on like a certain fan base. I can look at something and say, yeah, it looks nice. But yeah, it really wouldn't interest me. Yeah. I can see why people like it, but it wouldn't interest me. I think I'd get really bored. I'd end up skipping the whole story, because the story sort of bored me. So I'd be like, skip.
Well, it's got some puzzle stuff in it as well. Like, you have to do stuff in there.
skip.
Well, you can't. It's part of, like, it's linear and built into the story. Like, you can't skip
Delete.
some of that content. Yeah, there you go. Uninstall the game.
Uninstall.
I'm not going to spoil it for Astro who hasn't finished the game. The ending kind of was a bit like, all right, felt like there's all this build up, and then it. So I want to see how it transitions over into Requiem and see where it picks up, because I really enjoyed the game, and I never used to be into stealth type games or liked playing stealth mechanics games, and then like the new Assassin's Creed games, this game, I now really enjoy like doing stealth stuff. So maybe I should actually play some Hitman. Maybe.
Yeah, see, I don't mind stealth games, but I mean, Assassin's Creed are big for me, but the newer versions of those games can allow me to go anywhere and do anything, whereas these are still sort of, very linear.
Yeah.
And you have to do it in a certain way. You've got a little bit of freedom, but you can't, you can't really kind of flank people and stuff like that. So that's where it would be good to have it more open world and allow you to attack it in whatever form you want. But look, it is what it is. Yeah, I'll be playing it regardless. So, and I think it's going to be available straight up on the cloud too.
Yes, it's going to be available on the cloud. So if you
Elite, you don't have to delete it. You don't have to install it, man. Just load it up, play it.
Am I right in saying that you have to get your daughter a new console, Elite?
Oh yeah, because I dropped hers last week.
What happened?
This is an interesting story.
Drunk.
Yeah, my TV just my
he took
TV
it with him
stopped
to the
working,
hospital
so
to get his reverse hysterectomy.
Yeah. My TV stopped working, so I thought, I'm going to take hers. So I went in her room and sort of took her TV on a cabinet, and
you didn't unplug
the HDMI. So as I pulled the TV off, he just dragged the computer.
Oh my god!
And it just hit the floor, and I was like, ooh. And I just picked it up and just put it on the side and just walked off with the TV.
Does it still work?
I don't know. She's not tried it yet. Yeah, so I'm just going to pretend I didn't do it.
Sorry, what was that, Astro?
Probably my wife or someone.
I think we need to call child services.
I think so too. That sounds like abuse. Seriously.
It is.
Fit.
All right.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. If it doesn't work, I will buy a new one.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
You
I'll buy an Xbox.
I mean, you broke it.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably, yeah. If she was being bad, I'd have bought a PS5, but I'll borrow an Xbox.
tell us in the chat, guys, if Elite if we need to call child services on Elite as being a bad father. And tell us if you're looking forward to A Plague's Tale. And if you haven't watched the gameplay, I do recommend watching it just to get an idea of sort of, you can definitely see that it is visually more impressive than the first game. Yeah.
Is it exclusive?
No, it's not.
No.
Were you not listening to me when I talk? Obviously not. He never does.
I've kind of heard white noise when you talk.
Sounds
No, you know when like a flashbang goes off in like games, it goes beep.
Oh, Coral in the chat says Elite picked up her console with his toes.
Yeah, with my toe hands.
Oh.
Hey, the ladies love it.
Oh no!
I'm gonna say no. I was gonna.
No one wants that foot action. No one.
I was gonna. Big toe action. I was gonna say, Coral, it was your fault. She's throwing me off now. Oh, I was gonna say something really important as well. Yeah.
Was it though? Or was
Yeah,
it just going to be
really
insulting
important.
towards me?
Like, no, it was really important, and it's all our lives depended on it. It was now.
Okay.
All right. Well, for some reason, you guys are here listening to the Gamers Initiative podcast.
Thank you for the reset.
Channel. With Red Dead Panda, myself, and Elite. Let's jump into the next topic, shall we?
Yes.
Which is Microsoft has finally given us a reason to use Edge instead of Chrome. They are web browsers, Elite, if you weren't aware.
Yep.
in the latest browser update for Edge, it adds a new gaming interface, graphic enhancements to Xbox Cloud Gaming, and easy access to free casual games. Now, I'm going to just quickly jump in and sort of say, well, I don't know if anyone remembers, but about September last year, Satya Nadella was being interviewed, and he said that basically Xbox is much more central to the Microsoft business and built on core cloud technologies, and this is sort of the sort of thing he's referring to, right? They're a bigger part of the Microsoft family, part of the brand, and being integrated into everything. So we've seen it recently with TVs, all the cloud tech's coming out. It obviously launched recently in New Zealand, and now they're doing this. They're integrating it. Oh, they've integrated it through obviously Windows 10 and Windows 11, and now into browsers. So they're really, really pushing Xbox to be everywhere, and
integrating it to all their core systems.
Yeah, everything. So, I mean, it's in their store. It's a part of everything. So it's going to be in their DNA going forward. So what do you guys think? I mean, is it going to make you guys use Edge over Chrome, or do you even use Chrome? I mean...
What?
Elite still uses dial-up.
Usually, I use Edge anyway. I've been using Edge anyway. So this does not really have an impact on me. Why didn't people use Edge?
Because of Internet Explorer.
Or did I miss something? Huh?
Because of Internet Explorer. No one really wanted to use Edge because of Internet Explorer. They would use Chrome or Firefox or Safari or anything else.
Edge is on Xbox, isn't it? It's always been on Xbox.
Edge is it's been on Xbox. They did an update for it, so it's more in line with the and I'm pretty sure you get points for using Edge as well, don't you? No idea.
Oh, that's big.
I'm pretty sure.
Isn't that big?
Was it?
I think it's big.
I'm not too sure.
But Elite, if you on your computer, your actual computer, not your console,
I use Edge.
Would you you do use Edge?
I would still use Edge. Yeah, I did use Edge and I still use Edge. So, yeah.
So you're going to try this?
Am I going to continue using Edge? Yes.
No, but are you going to try the new gaming hub that they've got? They've got a new gaming interface.
Yeah, I will do. Yeah,
directly
once
into
I get a new TV. Once I get a new TV that can sort of take advantage of stuff. Because my TV's rubbish now. I don't know if you see on Twitter, I was posting that trying to get a new 4K.
Oh, you wanted a new monitor?
Yeah, do you remember that? Yeah, so I've still not got one yet. So yeah, I'll definitely start using it more. Yeah, if it improves my interface and graphic enhancements to Xbox Cloud Gaming and easy access to free casual games.
Yeah,
if it does all that.
I mean,
how about you guys? I mean, are you guys going to use it?
I think I'm going to give it a go. I mean, Edge is already on my computer because I use Windows 11. And so,
Yeah.
like, I exclusively use Chrome, and I have Firefox installed as a backup as well. But I think I might give that a go and test it out to see if it's something worth trying, or worth kind of using if I wanted to do anything specifically with gaming. Because like the UI for the update is inspired by Xbox, like the actual UI for it. It's got a new home screen, which shows like game guides, live stream highlights, tournaments, any up and coming and newly released games will be in the news feed there. And yeah, so I think because it's kind of looking like Xbox UI around that interface and such, I think it's going to be very easy for us Xbox gamers to transition and test it out. Whether or not it becomes a staple of us just switching to Edge is another story, but I think they are really trying to, as Ashtray said, integrate Xbox into their core systems, because it is so important now, and they've made it one of those key pillars that is part of Microsoft, and we've seen that iteratively through the years as they've changed, like with Phil being the head of Xbox, and then he kind of got up to VP of gaming, and now he's like the head of whatever Microsoft, I can't remember what it is, he's like VIP game, can't remember what his current title is now. But that just goes to show how serious Microsoft has taken this, and how much of a pivot compared to what happened in 2013 and 2014 and such, to kind of see now Xbox becoming such an important part of what makes Microsoft as well, because we talk about Xbox and PC being the same, and they technically are. Then you've got the fanboys who are like, no, you have to play it on my console, and it's like, it doesn't matter where you choose to play it. If you're playing an Xbox title, or if you're playing a game through some sort of Microsoft system, you're still utilizing Microsoft, or you're still playing an Xbox title. It doesn't matter where you choose to play, if that's where you spend your time, and you're supporting those developers and supporting that company essentially. So I don't know, people just seem to get so focused on the plastic boxes they forget that there's more than one way to play a game, or there's more than one way to access games. So I think Edge, really cool. They're wanting to steal some of that market share from Chrome, because Chrome is a beast, and maybe this is that Edge way in, because gamers want easy access, and if it makes it easier for accessing cloud play games, and just accessing any other game essentially for it, or GamePass games and other stuff, like there's clarity boosting available in it as well, which is really cool. So they're trying to make sure that it won't hog the resources when you're gaming, and so on and so forth. So I think there's like upscaling in it, and so I think really, if you are interested in gaming and you do ever use a browser, try Edge, test it out, see if it's for you. If not, you can go back to Chrome and you can just game the way you want to do it. But I mean, you just log into your Xbox account and you can access the Xbox cloud gaming via the website, etc. as well. So, up to you guys.
Bob has said he prefers Edge because he can delete his search history easier.
Well, there you go.
I don't know what that means.
Oh shit! I won't really use it unless I have to be honest with you, I'll always game on console.
I always game on console.
It's only on that rare occasion, and it has happened, but very rare occasion where I get kicked off the TV in the lounge room, and the TV upstairs is taken, and I've got no other choice but to use my PC to game. I'll then
use my daughter's TV.
It's still got the HDMI and Series S attached to it.
Oh, sweet deal! What a deal that is.
Yeah, I know. So that gives a new name to a bricked console there, Elite. Yeah, I think I was like, if I wanted to travel and go anywhere, and I could take my PC with me, or laptop with me, and then I could play those games if I wanted, just via the browser. So yeah.
Boba Fett's. He's definitely not awake. I swear I heard new Brazzers update.
New Brazzers update. Oh my god.
You hear what you want to hear, sir. Oh man. All right. Well, yeah. So Elite, that's it for you on that one. No more.
No. Yes, I'd usually use Edge anyway on the console.
Well, test
should
this
have made that
out.
the should prob-
Test this out on your Surface device at least and see what that's like.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, do it.
Okay.
I told you.
You're not the
Okay.
boss of me.
Maybe you'll have to
Yeah.
do that because you broke your daughter's console.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what I'm going to probably do is give her my console, my old console, and buy a new one for myself.
Are you going to get an X finally?
That's how I roll. Yeah, I might get an X. Yeah,
Are they
that's how I
becoming more
roll.
available over there? Or
Yeah,
what?
they are now. Yeah, they are a lot more favourable. But now they're more available. Now I want the Halo one now.
Yeah, no. Good
So-
luck with that.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
I'll sell you mine for $1,000.
Yeah.
Well, plus shipping,
Okay.
you've got to remember plus shipping, Ashtray. It's probably
Okay,
like
$2,000.
$1,500, right?
Yeah.
$2,000.
£2,000.
Just bumped up
So
to
that
£2
you
grand.
get the extra amount of money during
With the
conversion.
conversion.
Yeah.
Shit.
Exactly.
Shit.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me.
We're not ripping you off.
FSR. Guys, FSR.
Yeah.
I need to swear.
Yeah.
FSR2.
FSR.
Yeah.
FSR2 samples are now included with the GDKX Xbox developers.
GDKX. You know,
GDK, it looks like.
How much have you had to drink of it?
GDKX. Oh, I want the second vodka. Oh, and I've had a
It's a-
Baileys as well. For Xbox developers, what does this mean for current gen titles in the works? What does this mean?
what
Red Dead Panda Poos.
do you
What's it-
even
what's
know
it
what
mean?
FSR is? Sorry, I'm being
Yes.
cheeky now.
You are being cheeky.
Okay.
It means if you give me a clue to the S.
Super.
Super? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go with
Fidelity
the...
FX Super Resolution
Thank you.
2.0.
Yeah. I knew the word. I knew there was a word in there somewhere.
Also known as FSR. Basically, that is an upscaling technology, and they're not using machine learning for it. And so, and it's available on not just AMD, but also NVIDIA devices as well. So I think basically it's a really good way to boost your FPS in relation to games and not hog performance and so on and so forth. And I think we saw the first iteration of it, FSR1, and now we're seeing FSR2. And if you haven't watched the clips around that, I do recommend doing it. If you are interested in technology around that, it's actually on very similar to and being on par with DLSS 2.0 around sort of the performance gains that you get with it enabled. And I mean, we talk about native resolution, but if you can kind of start if you can kind of upscale from a lower resolution and upscale it to a higher resolution and get the performance gains, and it still looks visually damn near native, I think it's a really good idea to be doing that, because then you can use any of the overhead from your GPU and CPU to push more things around physics and anything else available for... Why can't I sentence this morning? I don't know. My brain's dead. It's that morning. And get them to take advantage of more of the RDNA 2 feature set as well. Like, we've got 4 teraflop Series S. We've got a 12 teraflop Series X. And if this is another way to kind of get more performance out of the boxes, that's extremely important for us as gamers, because we want to be able to use that overhead for better ray tracing. We want to use that overhead for maybe output higher resolution, even though it's upscaling from a lower resolution. We want to use that for more particle effects and better lighting for global illumination, more realistic shadows and so on and so forth. And I think it's really still in its infancy, and it's some engines have to have it built in. Some developers have to build that into their development of their games, like the development pathways for how they render everything. But for those who start implementing it, or they probably already have and been testing it, I can't wait to see some of the games that are running on FSR2 and just seeing what performance games and what developers can do, knowing that they can push the hardware further just by not pushing out a native resolution image. Sorry, I could talk on
Exactly.
forever and ever. But yeah, Ashtray.
Yeah. No, you're right. So it'll be cool. I think with this technology, we're going to see a lot more games running at 60, even 120 FPS
Yes.
because of this. And we talk, like you mentioned before, talk about 4K native and all this. In realistic terms, no one really cares about it being native.
No.
If it's upscaled from 1440p
Or even 1080p.
to 4K, then whatever. Where most of us anyway are more inclined to go with FPS over resolution. So resolution's great, sure, but if it's going to be at the cost of frames, then we'll take frames over resolution. So this will then, like you said, will assist with that and go, all right, well, you can have it at 1440p, we can up-res it, and you can still have, 60 or 120 FPS on your games. So like games like Doom and they're probably using this already. If not, they will be using this in
Deathloop. It's in Deathloop.
Forza.
That was one of the games
Yeah.
that they had for showing off the actual the software.
Mhm. Yeah, they did a side-by-side comparison, didn't they?
Yes, and it was one was native and one wasn't, and it was like one was using FSR and one wasn't. It was really hard to actually differentiate between the two, which is very
if anything,
impressive.
the FSR looked better.
Yes, very impressive.
So, yeah, and like you mentioned as well, with ray tracing, knowing that it's a resource hog in many cases, although they're probably fine tuning that as it goes. That'll just help keep the frames where it needs to be. So you can have your ray tracing and have your games running at 60, and it's not gonna overheat your PC or make it struggle in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, it's apparently available now for devs to use.
Yep.
So we don't actually know if it's just released to them or if they've had it for a couple of months or what have you. But I reckon something like Forza Motorsport will have it. It's not released until next year, so there's no reason why they couldn't implement that, make sure that that's ready
And
if they're having ray tracing in there.
And I guess the big difference
they are.
between DLSS and FSR2 is like DLSS is using machine learning and FSR2 is not. It's actually not using any machine learning around how it implements it. I think the first iteration did from memory, and then they've done a new iteration completely. If you've watched any of the showcases about them talking about it, it's quite impressive. And I mean, it's probably going to be the biggest benefit to the Series S, where you can have a lower resolution, like 1080p or maybe 900p, and then upscale up to 1440p, and then still have your 60 FPS and your 120 FPS maybe, and maybe even ray tracing in there as well. Because that it is a next gen console, and those who try to say it's not a next gen console, it's got a way better CPU, way better GPU. It has an SSD in it. It's going to be utilizing those RDNA 2 features as well. We haven't even begun to see what that little console's capable of, or even the Series X is capable of. I mean, FSR 2 will also be available for PlayStation from what I've read on that as well, so that'll get a big boost as well. But Elite, what are your thoughts? Has he died?
I was muted.
You were hemorrhaging from your surgery, right? Where you're bleeding out of your toes.
Nipples. Yeah, I was muted, and I just went on to a massive rant as well, and just sort of explained everything. Bollocks.
Okay, do it again.
Go again.
I was in the I was in one of those sort of modes where I was just like lost in the moment, and I just basically defined and just explained the whole everything really, really well.
That definitely sounds like you. Yeah.
Well, while you're coming up with an answer,
should we move on to the next topic?
this would supersede DLSS, really, wouldn't it? I mean, it sounds like it's a better implementation of this, basically the same type of process. So obviously, the DLSS is for the deep machine learning to help with the scaling of graphics and stuff. And this kind of just does it. I don't know. It sounds like it kind of does it in a better way.
Well, so I was going to say the DLSS takes a lower quality image and a really higher quality image, and then sort of like puts them together and fills in all the gaps and so on and so forth using machine learning. So it teaches the system to be able to do that for the games. Whereas like FSR doesn't do that. in the same respect because it isn't using machine learning, but it's going through, and when it renders an image, there's like a pre-upscale, like post-processing type thing that happens, and then it goes through the Fidelity FX super resolution thing, whatever it is, or it takes like from the previous images. I can't remember if it's just one image or a couple of images, and then it does the post upscale afterwards after it goes through that process, and then you get whatever you see on screen. So it is different because it isn't that machine learning. But I think Sappho asked, I wonder how difficult it would be to implement. Basically, for implementation, they have to put it in the right place. It's like during the frame rendering pipeline. So that's where they have to put it in. And basically, for developers, they need to do that. Oh my God. I'm going to have trouble explaining myself here, but you go in and talk while I...
Would it be running? It wouldn't be running all the time, would it? It would only really be needed when it's super intensive. So, I mean, because would it need to run all the time? Like if you're just walking through a corridor or something, will it need to be rendering and doing that? Or does it need to just become active when there's shitloads of stuff going on screen, and that's usually when you get your frame drops? I don't know.
I think
interesting to know if it's an all-time thing.
From my side, I probably think it's going to be an all-time thing. Like the game, if you wanted to push that, you're going to implement it from day dot type thing. But I mean, for them to actually put it in, it's going to be a bit different because they have to basically add the structures of the system into their engine, if it's not already available in their engine. So like, because it uses temporal upscaling, so it's like additional data inputs. They have to look at the motion vectors and such to kind of pull that through. And so I think if you're gonna build a game, and I'm not 100% not a developer, you'd probably build it in. Maybe they won't have it for certain things, but for the most part, I think during gameplay, if you've got it will probably be done. Like if you wanted to get those performance gains, you probably want those performance gains the whole way through gameplay, maybe. So yeah.
I wonder if any of the developers that have been using FSR1 can basically just switch over to this or not. It'd be interesting to know if that's the case. I'd love to know some of these questions that I have, but anyway.
Yeah.
It's all good. Thanks for everyone joining us live. You're watching or listening to the Gamers Initiative podcast on Elite Gaming Guru's channel with Elite, myself, Ashtray, and Red Dead Panda.
We got in the chat, so Tryhard fan, Boba Fett, other Zinc, she's no Elite.
Other Zinc, just for you,
Coral
rubbish.
Pyro.
Just for you, rubbish. Yeah, I know how much you love me saying that. Yeah. Appreciate you coming and joining us this week. He does. Shizno Elite, most developers already have their own upscale tech. You are correct, they do. And I agree with you. Hopefully this will actually encourage developers to start using that over their other one. And I think for some of them, I mean, for me, checkerboard rendering needs to go. It just does. I feel like that upscaling technique is just... It's no longer fit for purpose now. I think there's a lot better upscaling options available in the market, and it might be replaced with FSR.
Compared, right?
It is very much primitive in comparison to what some of the other developers have already built into their systems. I mean, like even UE5 has created its own sort of like software version of like upscaling in their engine. So maybe if you're running an engine on UE5, you won't use FSR, but maybe on other engines they're like, hey, well this might be a better implementation than what we've currently got, so we're gonna build this into our engine and build it into our render pipeline so we can take advantage of it. Who knows? Yeah.
Indeed.
I was just watching some of your gameplay actually. Wait, is this Division?
Yeah.
So I thought, wow, you've gone back. Is this some old gameplay, or you've gone back and started playing it again?
Oh, this is a little bit of old gameplay. Like I've said, I've been finishing at like 7 o'clock at night sometimes, and so I don't necessarily have time to do a lot of like gaming for long periods of time. Yeah.
I'll just start sending you some gameplay. Yeah, that might be easy, wouldn't it?
No, I've got to replug my gameplay hard drive into the back of my console, so I will be
Oh,
doing
I
that.
won't send you anything.
I will
Sorry,
be playing something today, and I'll get some new gameplay on because we've got our community game night.
Well, Red, hopefully by the time the Halo Infinite co-op campaign drops, you can record some of that gameplay. And speaking of that, first leaked footage of Halo Infinite co-op campaign makes online, now confirmed via Halo Insider program. You can sign up, and if you are one of the lucky few, to test it out. So what did you guys see the video on this? It
Yes.
The
leaked
leaked
on Twitter.
There's no release date still, is there?
No, but yeah, you start us off, Elite. I've been talking a lot. Astro's been talking a lot, and you've been pretty quiet.
It's true, yeah, you're talking a lot. Yeah, there was no, I don't think there was a release date. I did
You're
watch
terrible.
it. They didn't really show that much, did they? It was quite basic. They showed sort of just two guys running along and then one sort of grapple hooking the other continuously, just trying to get ahead. I guess it showed it worked, and it is it is a thing. I'd like to have seen more. I think one of them got in a car and started shooting and stuff like that. And but I heard someone say it could be possibly a mod or something. Because is this officially? It's not official yet, is it?
This is leaked footage,
It's just
but they
yeah.
have
I heard
officially
because I heard people say PC gamers. It's a mod from PC gamers.
They have officially announced via the Insider program that there is an option to sign up to test it out.
Yeah.
And
But we just don't know if that footage was at the actual.
Well, I would say it probably is. Because it's leaked right before the announcement of this Insider program but going live, because they would have been testing it.
Because the only thing that put me off is that you're both playing Master Chief when you're along. You're both talking like him and
Isn't that what happens in
etc.
every co-op version?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's why I was hoping they'd change it. I was hoping with the time they put into it, they would make the second player another Spartan or someone else. You know what I mean? Sort of. That's what I was kind of hoping. But did one of them? Yeah, with the time they've got you, the other person, or you could at least select who you want to be, or one of you has to play Master Chief, but you person second because of select who they're going to be, and then the co-op they threw in. Yeah. You could throw in an extra. The extra campaign for just the two-player people and things like that. It would have been sort of. That's what I was kind of hoping for. I was hoping they'd put a bit more effort into it because it's taken so long. But if they just sort of just do another Master Chief character in it, it's I've lost my enthusiasm for it for a bit. So,
Well,
what would you guys think?
Two-player co-op, it better be 4.
Yeah.
Oh,
I really think that because 2-player, I mean, that's been done, right? We've been doing that since day one. You need to make it 4-player co-op. They've got 4 hubs. They've, when you go to the what do you call them? The bases. I can't think of the names.
Yeah.
There's 4 platforms there for you to get your weapons and things like that. So that
Yeah,
tells
it's true
us
story.
that they were supposed to have it as 4. So I'm really, really hoping that it's 4-player co-op. That would be insane.
Do you reckon it'll be 2-player on last gen and maybe 3-4 player on current gen?
Yeah, probably.
I hope that is the case. But yes, Coral, we will be playing Halo co-op. We've still got to finish Halo 2. We have to play on the same console at the moment because it just keeps kicking us out with connection issues. So I don't like playing on the same console because you don't get the smoothness that you would playing on your own console and large screen and such. But yeah,
you guys playing that via Master Chief Collection?
Yeah, Master Chief Collection. It's still buggy.
Pyro said they have been doing close fighting for a couple of weeks with Halo Waypoint. Insiders will get flight info soon. Yeah. I'm sure there was a Halo where one of you plays Master Chief, the other one plays as the other guy. Was it not?
Halo 2, but that where you played as one of the elites, right?
Yeah.
But that wasn't in the co-op option, in the sense of if you were playing co-op, you both played co-op same character. Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, you're still getting the story, you're still doing everything else. So I don't see what the issue. I mean, I have no issue with it. I like playing with other people and to enjoy a game and be silly and kind of test stuff out and watching that leaked gameplay and them just using. Oh my god, using the grapple shot the way they were. I was like, oh, I can't wait to just kind of be cheeky and mess with the other person the whole way through the game. When my sister and I play, we always make jokes around who's carrying who through the game. So it's just going to be another round of us shit talking each other the whole time, which is going to be really fun. Like, we do that every time we play Halo co-op in Master Chief Collection. We just basically troll each other the whole time, and I have a bunch of fun doing it. And it's nice to kind of play that style of game with someone else. So I really want to sign up for the program, but I also I don't, because I know that I'm going to wait to play co-op with my sister. But I was really, really pleasantly surprised by the leaked video, just because I was like, yes, at least we can kind of see sort of what it's going to look like, and just sort of see how silly you can be on that with each other. That'll be fun. Like, you saw what people were doing in that game by themselves. Imagine what you can do with two of you. Basically, I'm pretty sure we'll destroy the ring at the end of it. Yeah.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
I reckon that I don't know. I reckon get rid of friendly fire. I know they've always had it, but just get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to attack hubs and things like that, and there's going to be even 4 of you, it's going to be pretty messy, which is going to be cool, right? But you shoot a rocket off or whatever, and one of your allies is sort of in the middle of that, they're going to get injured, knocked, whatever, and it's like, come on, really? So I don't know.
Is friendly fire only a concern if you're American? Oh,
That's savage elite.
But yeah, so Halo Waypoint website, they did, there is a section here. It says campaign network co-op. Now, Red, you didn't sign up to the flight for Halo Infinite last year?
No, because I didn't really have any intention of really playing much of Halo until I got through the other games, and then through community game night, the guys introduced me to the multiplayer aspect, and then I was like obsessed, and I still am obsessed. I just haven't played it for a little bit because I've been playing Sniper Elite 5, which is oddly very time consuming, and I love it. But yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Arbiter.
Arbiter?
Was that the fella? Arbiter. Did you play in one of the games? I'm sure you played
Halo
him.
2.
Only in Halo 2 campaign you switch between him and Master Chief.
Oh, did that?
But not in co-op.
Did you join
Oh,
the
really?
flight last
I don't get
year?
why they don't do that.
Did you join the flight last year?
Yeah.
Who, me? No, I didn't. No.
Oh,
Yep. I was playing it in beta. So because I'm already signed up to it. I'll just see if I get an invite or not. If I don't, I don't. It is what it is. But
I don't get why if you can play them in the campaign, why you can't play them in the co-op. Why just add them into the co-op game versions? I don't get it.
Well, because of the fact, like, the way that the story was done in Halo 2, like, they're in 2 separate locations when you're playing as them, and their stories are happening at the same time, essentially, for the most part. So, I mean, the only way you'd play co-op is one person played the Arbiter and one person played Master Chief, and you played those levels separately, like, if you wanted to play like that. But yeah, so you wouldn't have them in the same location. And it'd probably be the same around this, is like the fact that you're just getting an option to have to be able to play the story with another person. You're still technically Master Chief. It doesn't change that fact. You're still experiencing the story together.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not going to overly impact you, but I guess for some people they would have liked to have another character. Yeah. But I mean...
Yeah. It would be just nice, though, wouldn't it? Even if they just played a soldier, the other person, rather than Halo Chief.
Well, you could be an ODST or something like that, which would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Not necessarily a Spartan, I guess, but continuing the Halo news, Halo Infinite Battle Royale reportedly bringing back OG Halo 2 and Halo 3 maps. What do you guys think on that topic?
Right. I didn't...
Did you play any of the original Halo maps?
No.
Oh.
Probably not. I can't remember. It's been a long time.
Might be new to you then. So.
Oh, yeah, probably a long time. Yeah. If the Halo 1 is in the original Halo.
No, well, this is from Halo 2 and Halo 3.
Yeah.
These are like favorite maps.
Fan favorite maps.
Oh, maps from yeah, 2 and 3. I thought you said OG Halo, original one. Yeah, 2 and 3. Yeah. I remember. I don't remember any. Honestly, I don't remember 2. I remember some of the maps from 3, but not 2. But yeah, it has to be upgraded and sort of thing is. But yeah, they sort of generically they always bring back old stuff, and they even do it in the Call of Duties now. And they bring back old maps from old games. I'd like to see new stuff and sort of take more advantage of sort of throw some different biomes into new maps and things like that, and be a bit more courageous with their map building. But I guess that's what Forge is for, hopefully. But Battle Royale, do we need it? No, I don't think we do. I don't think there's actually that. People always say, "Oh, we've had enough of Battle Royale. There's too many." I don't think there's actually that many Battle Royale games. And anything that just brings people in and is sort of the fad of the moment, then I can't see why it's a bad thing to drop it into your game. So I think, yeah, welcome Battle Royale. I've never really been against Battle Royale. Now some people think that we're saying too many Battle Royales, but you know, you can never have too much of a good thing, can you? And Battle Royales are the flavour of the month at the moment, so.
Well, yeah, I think it'd be good. It'll probably still be first-person view, which is, I don't know. I think something like this would probably be better third-person, in my opinion. Apparently, it's going to have 60 players as opposed to 100. And look, I'd like it. I mean, I'm into Fortnite, so I'm more than happy to try a different sort of Royale, although it needs to have content.
It needs content, yeah.
More than anything else, it needs content. So I mean, look, they've already got some skins and stuff. A lot of it's hidden behind those paywalls, though. So they need to be able to make stuff freely available, easily accessible. But content need to have a lot. And I know, again, Fortnite's been around for a while now, so it's had time to build all that up. But knowing that that they've got that, Halo needs to really kind of hit the ground running in that respect, and I just don't feel like they will. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
Well, because this is which studio is doing
modes
this? This is the other studio that's one of the support studios for 343, right? They're the ones working on the Battle Royale. I can't remember their name. In the chat, if you remember the studio that's rumoured to be working on the Royale, pop it in the chat. I can't remember. I'm actually just like, I think for the people who like Battle Royales, I think it's nice to kind of have that mode in there for them. And the people who like traditional multiplayer, there's the option there as well. And I do like the fact that they'll be bringing maps in for 2 and 3, because I have not played any of those maps before. So it would be cool for me to be introduced to those and kind of experience some of the love that the community has for those maps, and understand why Halo was such a phenomenon when it came out, and has continued to kind of dominate and be this huge force and recognizable IP in the gaming industry. And I agree, it definitely needs the content, and I feel like the fact that it's not rumoredly coming out next year means that they have plenty of time to kind of work on that content and get it available and create a roadmap around content releases, because what we're finding with 343 is that, you know, they're struggling with the games as a service around getting content out to us in a timely manner, because gamers, if you like a game, just speed through content like it's nothing, and then want more and more and more. We basically, you just can't satisfy us around gaming content. As soon as we've got through something else, we're like, where's the next bit of content? Where's the next bit of content? And I just hope that whoever's the studio that's doing the Battle Royale mode in that respect is very much mindful of that, and have taken the learnings from what 343 is kind of come up against as part of Halo Infinite multiplayer, and how that's going on as a game as a service. Forge, you're right, Elite. Forge, I think, is going to kind of quell that until we get to for some people, they'll create their own sort of Battle Royale modes in there anyway, and such. But, you know,
that'd be cool.
It will be cool. It will be cool.
If you can crack Battle Royale. I think the new... Oh, go on. I was just going to say, I think the interesting thing about this Battle Royale, as opposed to a lot of Battle Royale games, is this. Hopefully they'll include all spaceships and stuff like that, you know, all the ships and all vehicles. And I think that'll make a big difference to a lot of Battle Royale games if you've got full ship combat.
Yeah.
So that'd be interesting.
I mean, I wasn't big into Battle Royales, and then I played with Ashtray on Fortnite, and it's actually quite fun. Like, playing with other people, like especially the no builds, and we're playing in a team or a group or a quad. It's lots of fun, and you do really need to like work on your communication and all of that. But I mean, I love playing the multiplayer for Halo Infinite by itself as it is. It's just really good gunplay and so on and so forth. There's still fixes that have to come in that space, but I think it's just nice that this is potentially what we're going to be seeing, and especially for those who haven't been introduced to a lot of the Halo IP, and this will be the first time, like myself, seeing those maps or playing on those maps. I'll have a bit of a learning curve in that regard, but it's Halo and people love it and it's recognizable, and if they do it, I reckon the gamers will come. And that's
what do you think? Do you want to play it in first person or third person?
I think I would like the option for both. I think for those who want to play in first person, I think that would be cool. And I think the people who want to play in third person, option for both. Whether or not that has whether or not that means that someone is better based on whether they play in third person or first person is a different story. But like, I would like the option for both, because it would be nice to see your character running around with your skin and so on and so forth. But I also really like the first person gunplay, so I don't know. Yep. I'm a mixed bag. Like, I love third person games and I love first person games, so don't ask me, I'm indecisive.
What does the chat think? Would they prefer to stick with first person, or would you like the option to play as third person? Now, third person, you obviously have a bigger field of view, right? So you kind of have it a little bit of an advantage that way. And I reckon a lot of, and this is just an assumption, but I think a lot of staunch Halo players would say, no, it has to be first person view only. That's the way Halo's played.
What happens if they had a first person mode and a third person mode, and you could choose which lobby you wanted to go into?
That would be cool.
That would be cool, yeah.
That would be cool, yeah.
And
I'd probably choose third person myself.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's just me. So, Elite says in the chat, he's getting a drink, be right back. He's taking a poo, I think.
Yeah, let's be honest, yeah. A big learning. I've got 1,000 hours on some of those maps. Yep, Boba, you'll have to take me through some of those maps and teach me the ins and outs. All right, okay. Well, if you weren't aware, guys, and I don't think this is crazy big news, but we're going to talk about it anyway, because the news has been a little light this week. Well, actually, just in general. But like GT7 was replaced by Asobo Studios at the FIA Motorsports eSports. So it used to be predominantly there, and now it's been replaced by another racing simulator. Do you think
that I've never heard of?
Yeah, you've never heard of this racing simulator?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I have. But I mean, I haven't really paid much heed into it because I'm not big into racing sims myself. Like, I'm going to try the new Forza Motorsports just because I want to see graphically what they're pushing and how that looks on my Series X. I bought a Series X for a reason, so I kind of want to see it in all its glory, all those pixels up on screen and the ray tracing and etc. But like, basically, this is for 2022's one. So from my understanding, I'm trying to remember when they started doing this. I was trying to read up about it to learn when they started doing this. But like, from my understanding, the reason why they've switched over is just there's a little bit more realistic simulation aspects to Assetto Corsa. And that's why it's trumping Gran Turismo 7 in that regard. And there are people who are online saying like, GT7 and should stay, and then there's other people saying they don't really care around this. Do you think this is a win or a loss for GT7? What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, they build Gran Turismo as the real racing sim, and then it gets kicked from the gaming event for another game.
Yeah.
So what does that tell you? It tells you that Polyphony's dropped the ball.
I think they have with this title a little bit, yeah.
Definitely. Look, if this other, again, I haven't heard of this other game before, to be honest with you, but if it's always been better, I don't know why they've been pushing Gran Turismo over this game in the first place. Maybe just because of eye candy and it looked better. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's a bit of a blow, and it's not a good sign.
I think, from my understanding, the other game has more around the category of cars. They've got like more there, whereas Gran Turismo has a broader focus in that regard. Like, yes, Gran Turismo's like actual assets for the cars themselves is really, really high quality. The physics a little bit less so around that. It doesn't react the way it should react. And even the damage on the cars isn't there. I mean, for me, I like to see that, because if you're playing badly, you should show that you're playing badly. But I mean, I don't think this is an L or a win or anything regarding this, because like we know that PlayStation bought that esports thing, so they could probably create their own esports for Gran Turismo themselves, and they've seen time and time we're seeing time and time again that PlayStation has been stepping away from what is expected and running off and doing their own things and trying to build out their own stuff. Like they left E3, they're doing their own thing around that.
Not really.
Yeah, they're doing something. And they're still figuring things out. I mean, there's a lot going on in that company, a lot of changes happening with what they're trying to achieve, and we probably won't see a lot of the fruits of that until later in the generation. But I feel like they could definitely do their own esports version of Gran Turismo Sport or GT7 in that regard. I still think there's some further updates that need to be available for GT7 to really push it over into more of that realistic racing sim that you would expect from such a high quality studio around what their previous iterations have done, because I feel like Polyphony Digital used to be really up there, and they're not where they were, and I feel like there's still ways to go, and there's still improvements there. But I mean, the game that's replacing it's on the PlayStation 5, it's on the Xbox, so you could definitely try playing it and seeing what you guys think around the differences between GT7 versus Assetto Corsa. Yeah, I'm not even going to do the Italian. I think it's Italian pronunciation.
It's too difficult, especially this time in the morning.
Like competition. I'll just say the English version of the word competition. Yep. Yeah.
Competition.
Yeah. Okay.
Competition.
Competition.
Yeah, Elite. What are your thoughts? So do you think this is is this a good thing or a bad thing that GT has been replaced by another racing sim for this motorsports esports event?
Well, for credibility, yes, because if they had quit it, like they wanted to pull out because they were coming up with their own esports event, so they're pulled out, then yes. But they've not. They've sort of been dropped for, I guess, a better racer. Well, have they been dropped because Corsetto is a better racer, or because Corsetto's multiplat, so it's going to reach more? Do they think like having an exclusive game as an esports game wasn't reaching a wide enough audience? Is that one of the sort of the reasons why they dropped it, or because the mechanics in GT7 are just not up to par? Is it just not improved enough since GT?
That the mechanics and the driving simulation is better.
Yeah, it's more of a hardcore simulation than Gran Turismo is. So yeah.
Well, then it's an L for Gran Turismo then, because Gran Turismo held that. That was the thing. That's the thing that. Bordeaux even put it above Forza before. Forza Motorsport. It was prestigious for being just spot on the best racing simulator, and now it's lost that edge. It's lost that number one slot to So I don't think it's a good thing for Sony.
I mean, looking at it from another perspective, Forza Motorsports has never been there. So does that mean Forza Motorsports is also at an L? What are you guys' thoughts around that?
What's that, sorry?
Yeah. Forza Motorsports hasn't been at the FIA Motorsports games in regards to Gran Turismo has. So what does that mean for Forza Motorsports?
Yeah, that's us. I mean, I wonder why they've never picked that.
Depends on who runs FIA and I mean, a lot of these companies tend to lean towards PlayStation over Xbox, so it could just be that. To be honest with you. But that's not to say that we won't see Forza Motorsport in the future over there.
True.
So,
I mean, 48 times changes around their physics simulations and such on the new title
Yeah.
that's coming out might be a big change and a big tipping point around that simulation that
Well,
the game
exactly.
offers.
I mean, exactly. I mean, they were talking about the heat of the track and how it affects the tires and things like that.
Yep.
How realistic can you get?
Yeah.
So that's I think we'll see some
And
changes
it's-
going forward.
Well, yeah, there's also, Fort Motorsport. Forza
Mhm.
Motorsport is actually next gen, confirmed. So,
Yeah.
actual next gen. So, I personally think, I know you guys are sort of saying it's not a win or a loss, but I'd take this as a loss. If I was Sony, they must get some form of pay or some sort of payouts. They must earn some sort of revenue from it being there on stage, and they're going to lose that. So if you're Sony as a company and someone comes to you, yeah, we're not going to use your game, it's not good enough, it's not just par anymore, then it's definitely going to be in your field, isn't it? Maybe they just got too comfortable because GT has dropped off now for a decade, so maybe they just got too cocky with it. And now Forza, obviously, Turn 10 and Playground Games are doing amazing stuff with Horizon and Forza Motorsport, and Gran Turismo is good because now they're going to have to pick it up, because I think they've got slack and they're going to have to pick it up, because those physics we keep seeing, especially the rolling physics, look awful. It looks really dated.
Yeah,
So-
I think Polyphony have a huge task ahead of them for the next GT if they do another one.
Yeah.
It's got to be epic. Like, it has to hit all of the same targets as Forza Motorsport, and then some. It really
exactly.
needs to go into as much detail, if not more.
Tryhard
to-
has a really good point, though, guys. He's saying that FIA branding was removed from GT7, so that partnership ended, which makes sense around potentially why they've got that, maybe got that partnership with that other title, so they want that as the branding when they do their esports event. Yeah, that's another good point.
So you ask your question of why did they remove that branding? Because they
Yeah.
want to move away from the Gran Turismo branding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's
Be
not
associated with them.
it's not up to par.
I mean, for me, I feel like for us as like not casual, like the you know what I mean. Like I'm not a hardcore racing sim, so it doesn't simulation player, like whatever I'm trying to say. I'm more of casual around that, but I'm hardcore in other aspects of my gaming life. So this doesn't impact me. Yes, it's a bit of a story to go, hey, like, why did this happen? And that isn't really a good look around around PR and such, but it's not going to impact me. And when I get a PlayStation one day, and I test this game out one day, I don't think it's going to impact me there either. But for those who really take it seriously and have been kind of used GT as their bread and butter for that, they might feel it slightly different around that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I would actually like Polyphony to make something different. Maybe move on to now make something else.
I think it'd be cool to
Like
see them
Playground
do an arcade
Games,
racer.
either branch off.
That'd be cool to
Yeah,
see them do an
branch
arcade.
off and do a complete different stuff like Playground Games, or do an arcade racer like Forza Horizon, and not focus so much on sim.
But then
So,
the
it'd be
talking point
interesting.
from us, and not from me specifically, but the talking point from some of the toxic part of the Xbox community is PlayStation's just copying Xbox. That's what the talking point would be in that regard. And I'm so sick of I don't know. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've heard this a lot recently, especially with Starfield, haven't we? Starfield copy No Man's Sky. Which is a ridiculous argument. That nothing's original. It's just slap it on the head, right? There's nothing original. No one's going to come out with something. Everything's going to have copied something. You can date it back to ages. So the whole Starfield copy No Man's Sky, no. It's just the same as, I think if Gran Turismo said, right, we need to do something else. Let's make an open world racer. I think that might be better. I think if they did do something like that, made like a Tokyo, just did something different, based in Japan, because Forza, they've never done Japan, did they? Forza, they skipped it. There was a lot of talk about it, wasn't there? I think they
They
skipped
haven't
it.
done it, but again,
No, so Sony jumped in there quickly because Japan's their home turf. Jumped in there and made a Japan-based open world arcade game. Then you might reach out to Japanese as well. So just to shake it up. I think they're just. I mean, they could go with Sim again, but it could be hard to top Forza Horizon 8 or Forza Motorsport 8, whatever it's called now.
And
It'd be hard to top that this gen.
just want to remind everyone, thank you all for watching. We appreciate you guys every week. We have just watching the Gamers Initiative podcast. This is episode 59. We're almost at episode 60, and we should have, fingers crossed, 2 guests next week. My sister will be joining us, and then I'm hoping I'm a Ghost, who's on the XBL podcast for UK, will be joining us. He said yes, but you know, life happens and a lot can happen in a week. But yeah, there should be 2 guests next week. So yeah, like this, share it out. If you think Elite is a fraud, pop that in the chat.
It's rude.
Yeah.
True.
We've got D-List 86. Welcome D-List 86. Welcome to the gang. Triad Fam, we still got Triad Fam, Pyro, She's No Elite. Is Coral gone? Where you gone, Coral?
She'll be watching while doing stuff.
give her a
She
call?
just can't chat. Nah.
Titan
just
Drago
ring her?
dropped
How do you
by.
know she's not talking right now? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You don't.
Oh, Miss Titan, did I poop? Oh, hello, Titan, if you're there still. Poops. Right, should we move on to the next topic then?
Our last
Sure.
topic, if you want to lead us off on this, Elite.
Oh, shit.
You haven't
I've
read
lost
it,
the
have
topics.
you?
My thing's scrolled.
Okay. I can read this off. So.
Oh, yeah, I've forgotten it. You
got
you
it?
go for it. I've got it now. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, if you haven't seen this, you probably have if you've been on Twitter. Is like Bobby Kotick, and as far as we know, is staying on as the head of Activision for the time being. What are you guys' thoughts around this? Do you guys think that this is just temporary until the acquisition goes through, or
Temporary.
Yes.
lead us off, Astro?
Yeah.
There's a
Go on,
reason
Astro.
why. There's a reason why Phil rang Bobby and said, "What the fuck are you doing? We're gonna buy you now."
You unt.
Because that's essentially what happened. Is he rang him and said, "All right, this isn't looking very good. We're going to come and buy you guys out. Let's talk about it." And you know, that was November last year, and the deal was announced in what early January this year. So you know, that's how quick it moved. There's a reason for it. It's a toxic environment. He's the head of that. He is the problem behind it all. He won't be staying. They'll be clearing him out. They'll clear out all the other suspects, and they'll make a clean slate. So there's absolutely no way he's going to be staying once the buyout happens. There might be a transitional period, but I can pretty much guarantee that once that's done, he'll be marched out pretty quickly.
Well, I mean, the actual, like, what's up online is saying, like, according to a document filed the 21st of June, like, the shareholders, like, 534 million shareholders voted in favour of a proposed board of directors, and that list that they voted on for approval, if it gets passed and such, includes him as a nominee to be on the board of directors. So, I mean, it sounds like he wouldn't be CEO, he'd just be on the board of directors. But I still think he needs to be out altogether as far as that's concerned around what happened to the toxic work culture for Activision Blizzard King during his time as CEO, and like how he's been accused of hiding what he knew about the harassment and assault allegations. And I mean, like, the company is like investigating anti-harassment efforts at the moment, but I also agree, like, I think he's not going to be around after the actual acquisition goes ahead fully, so he'll be around through until then, I reckon. But yeah, Elite, what are your thoughts?
I agree with Astro. I think Phil's probably had a word and said, "You twat, you're gone." But we need someone to be there for the time being, because there's probably not many people that want to jump in that role right now. The way to be, so they're reluctantly probably just having to keep him up, and also probably because he's probably still got a contract with them, and it probably costs a lot of money for him to just cut it short. I imagine there's probably they've probably gone through all the legal technicalities of it, and they thought it's just not worth it. We might just keep him going. I think that's why I've been seeing so much crap. They've been throwing microtransactions and just releasing shit at the moment, haven't they? And just been trying to just really it sounds like they're just trying to crawl in as much money as possible. What did I see the other day? But yeah, I think. He's not saying, "Oh, yeah, what you do," but I'm blaming Xbox for it, of course, we're keeping him on. But I don't think. I think he is just. It's just until they find someone new, because it's just.
Sorry, continue.
Did he go? Did he? What? I know he was accused of stuff and all this happened.
He hasn't resigned. They've asked for his
Yeah, he did
resignation.
resign.
He hasn't resigned.
Did he go to court and he got found guilty?
No, it's
Wouldn't
still
think like that.
it hasn't gone to that yet.
No, so because that could be playing a major part as well. After we've seen what happened to Johnny Depp, I mean, where you just accuse someone.
Defamation also.
Yeah, you always got to give. Yeah, I mean, you can't really just. You can't really sack him and stuff until it's gone through court and you've got. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what the court system's for.
Microsoft can't do anything at this point because they don't own them.
No,
So they can't
no,
do
their hands are
anything
tied
whatsoever.
And the law is on Bobby's side at the moment.
Even if Bobby himself didn't do anything, which I doubt very much, even if he didn't personally do anything, he is covering. Like, he's the CEO, so he's in charge of the business. So whatever happens is under his watch.
Yeah,
he is at fault anyway, just by default.
Yeah.
So
it's
but technically, the law is still on his side. Yeah,
sneaky little prick, you can tell.
Yeah, well, I mean, like they kind of
that's trash.
they released the results of their own internal investigation, Activision Blizzard King did, and this was via their investor site. And so the report did acknowledge like individual instances of harassment, but it claimed there was no evidence that the senior executives ignored harassment or concealed information from the board. So I think, like, get an independent review because, like.
Yeah.
Sometimes people reviewing, like your own company reviewing it, is going to kind of make it sound less bad than it really is. And if someone else comes in and does a review, it's unfiltered as a review in that regard. But I mean, the fact that we're getting these articles about Bobby Kotick still and such, you can definitely tell as a community that we don't want to support anything that Activision Blizzard is technically doing until he's gone, because of the fact that yes, he was that figurehead for the company, and so anything that happened under his watch is his fault, because they should be putting things in place to protect their staff. They should be putting things in place to have it reporting up the hierarchy so that you are across anything and you can kind of stamp it out, or put processes in place to alleviate and fix all those problems. Like, companies seem to forget that people are the bread and butter of them, and without them they kind of go bust. And when you're at the top, you do forget about the little people, and you shouldn't, because you wouldn't be there without them.
Board, yeah. But I've worked in various sort of high profile legal places, lawyers and stuff like that, and the bottom line is, unless you can, he can come across as guilty as possible, and you can know all about it. But unless you can prove it, then you've got to still treat him like an innocent man, unfortunately. And so, as I said, that's why I was wondering if he caught in that. If until he is actually proven guilty, then they have to treat him just as another employee. So they can't just sack him because on what grounds, and then he'll be able to sue and then get to take loads and loads of money off of Xbox.
I mean, you're looking at what happened as him being the head and all the news stories that came out of it, and as a result, it put Activision Blizzard King in a position where they could be acquired. If this didn't happen, and the ship was going the right way the whole time, we wouldn't be in a position where we're talking about Microsoft having this massive historic purchase of the company for $70 billion. That wouldn't be a conversation point because it wouldn't have happened. But as a result of his leadership and the people under him doing what they did as well, we're in this position where Activision Blizzard King was hurt, financially speaking, to the point where they were open to an acquisition deal. And, as a result, I think that part of that discussion, and you're probably right there, 100% ashtray around Phil Spencer calling him, I reckon part of that deal is like, when we take over, you will be gone. And so I think he will be around for part of 2023 until the acquisition goes through, and then he will be gone. But I don't know, just being a female, just being in general, a human being in general, and just knowing that there are people in the world who treat other people like trash and such, it just kind of pisses me off. And the fact that he's this figurehead here and he's got all this power and he looks after all of this, and I play the titles that company does, and it, morally speaking, I feel conflicted as a result of it. And I'm sick of, I just don't want to see him up on screen. I don't want to see any articles about him. I don't want to hear about him again. And he just needs to kind of disappear into the ether and stay out of the gaming industry, because, again, don't want to be morally conflicted when I play video games. It's bad enough trying to play a game where you have to be good or bad. I don't need to be like, did someone who created this game harass other people? Someone who kind of not create but like help fund the game harass other people, and so on and so forth. So,
but yeah. As I said, I hate to play devil's advocate, and until he's proven guilty, then you have to assume he's innocent. As horrible as it sounds, I mean, as I said, a few years ago with the whole Johnny Depp thing, he was more or less branded as a wife beater and stuff, and by the UK press, and he went to court and where everything it is, and then it comes out now that it's completely flipped on its side, isn't it? Now everyone's for him now.
Do you know in the States it is innocent until proven guilty? Do you know in the UK it's guilty until proven innocent? Did you know that? Very interesting. Just FYI, guys. You actually have to prove that you're innocent in the UK, whereas
I've always all around, isn't it?
No, in the United States they have to prove that you're guilty. Yeah.
Oh.
Very different.
Right, so there. So
so
you have to prove he's guilty.
Yeah,
and sometimes that can be very hard when you're so high profile. You can make things vanish very easy.
Yep.
And it can be hard to catch someone like that. If he is prolific as you think, and he is that man, then it'd be very hard to catch him.
Well, I mean,
look at Epstein, how hard it was to catch people like that. It took a while.
It's probably that mindset of, hey, it's only small, it's only impacting a couple of people. It's not a big thing, so they're kind of like, we'll put this on the back burner type mentality, maybe. But like, I mean, other studios who've had issues with harassment and stuff, and they've kind of got rid of those people as an outright. That should be sort of the rule in that regard, if for the most part. I just know that, like, society as a whole, we just have a tendency to not look after the people who are actually victims of things.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But I think this moves us nicely onto our next topic, the Sony.
No, we knocked that off the list.
Oh, Sony. Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah, we knocked that off the list. You were kind of having audio issues this morning when we were talking, so, and then
so I didn't hear it all.
Yeah, you didn't hear.
I've got something actually that's come up on Twitter. We can add to a topic.
Yeah, there you
Where
go.
is it? I saved it on here. Oh yeah, Ubisoft CEO takes a £300,000 pay cut after company's poor performance. Yeah, that come up an hour ago.
$300,000 pay cut.
Yes, Ubisoft CEO takes a $300,000 pay cut after company's poor performance. How about that?
What was the poor performance for? Like, was it any games in particular?
Were there games enough? I guess. Let me open it up.
So, send us the link on that one. That's interesting.
Send me the link. I want to have a nosy now. That sounds crazy.
Ubisoft CEO takes a £300,000 pay cut after company's poor performance.
I'm gonna Google this.
What's his name? I don't know the name. Is pulling a page out of Satoru Iwata's playbook. The latest Ubisoft earnings report shared that longtime chief executive Yves Guillemot will voluntarily, Guillemot voluntarily take a sizable pay cut totaling €327,000, $327,000 for bad performance for Ubisoft.
Well, when you look at that, they also had issues around sexual misconduct back in the day as well. Ubisoft did.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? And then a lot of people like, should we be supporting the games and such? So basically,
It's not been reaching
it
financial
was
targets.
a
It said.
voluntarily won pay cut due to failing to meet
Yeah.
financial targets, as well as the execution of internal reforms stemming from sexual misconduct accusations in the company back in 2020. I've just got the article up at the moment.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay,
That
so
led on perfectly.
Interestingly enough, their profit dropped by 14%, which is quite sizable.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
And Ghost Recon Breakpoint bombing.
Yeah.
But Assassin's Creed Valhalla being the only notable huge recent success
Wow.
Yeah.
story.
That's interesting.
And they're also a case games such as Prince of Persia, Sands of Time, remake Skull and Bones, and Beyond Good and Evil 2 struggling to get out the door.
Skull and Bones. I
good.
forgot that's making that.
I
Remember, Skull and Bones was going to be the Sea of Thieves killer, wasn't it? Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's probably been a little bit COVID related too, so those game delays were probably slated to be in this financial year, and so with them not dropping this side of the financial year,
I mean,
then they've got to move them into the next year. So this guy, either he's falling on his sword and doing the right thing as CEOs should do.
Yep. Fingers crossed.
And I mean, he probably can see what the next financial year is going to be, and it will be up, 20-30% if these games come out. Yeah. So, but if it looks good on him. So
Take a pat on the back. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Or
I completely
this-
forgot
we've-
Beyond Good and Evil 2 is a thing because we haven't heard from it in forever. When is that game coming
Exactly.
out?
Or this could lead to another acquisition from a studio.
That would be
From a
fantastic.
yeah. It
I
could be,
don't
couldn't it? Because this is how they usually start off. They usually kick off with stuff like this. If they're dropping out the shareholders, they're thinking, you're losing money. And I can see he's taking a drop in salaries, maybe in an effort to not lose Ubisoft. Maybe the talks have already gone ahead,
But
and he's thinking, I don't want to use Ubisoft. I'll take a pay cut.
they're gambling a
Voluntarily,
little
it
bit,
could be all
right?
that.
Because they've got
Yeah.
their own version of like EA Access or whatever it is. So they've got their Ubisoft version,
Yeah.
and they're gambling a little bit, and that's meant to be going to Luna, right, with Amazon, and that's coming to Xbox as well. Whether or not that eventually gets
PlayStation.
and PlayStation, whether or not that eventually gets built into Game Pass like EA's one is another story. But I think, hopefully like Avatar, that's meant to be coming out later the year. I forgot that game was coming out later this year. Might probably delayed till next year. Mario and Rabbids, I hate that game. Those games.
No, but there'd
These
be a lot
Ubisoft
of
games.
other
And
Nintendo people.
Yeah, a lot of Nintendo people will go play that. Rocksmith should be coming out and as well. So those are all slated to be coming out later on in the year, and maybe even the first half of next year. So they could turn it around, and maybe he's just, like you said, taking a bit of a loss on his end.
A loss now.
And then
The Avatar game looks pretty good. It needs to drop when the movie drops. It has to.
When's the
Because
movie
it needs-
releasing?
It's this year. I think it's the end of this year that the movie drops.
Well, they
so
better
it needs
line
to
it up.
coincide. Yeah.
Games based on movies always suck, though, don't they?
Not always.
Not always. I mean, that
Go on.
first Avatar
Pick
game.
pick 3 games that based on movies. Games that come on, chat. But games that are based on movies that are good.
I didn't play it, but it wasn't Riddick really good. Riddick game?
Anyone? I don't know. I didn't play
GoldenEye
Riddick
on the Nintendo 64.
Oh, there you go. There's one.
Okay. Was that actually based on the movie at all, though?
Yep, it
I
had all
never
the
played it.
characters because
Was
they
it-
had Pierce Brosnan.
got
and
in
it followed
one,
all the story.
GoldenEye.
Yep, GoldenEye.
Oh,
I
nice.
said
Got anything
Riddick.
else?
Wasn't
Really?
Mad Max?
You never played the game, though.
Wasn't the new Mad
Yeah,
Max
but
in
I've heard
2015?
Yeah, you can't say really.
2015?
Just name a game you've not played. Mad Max. Yeah, well, Mad Max was sort of, it was
Still
the
exists.
principle of Mad Max. The Mad Max was alright, and the principle was around Mad Max, though it wasn't really based on any of the movies. Just sort of based more around sort of just the principle of what Mad Max is. It was more like the Mad Max the game was exactly basically like what's that other game? Rage games, aren't they? Basically like Rage game.
Yeah, very similar.
Yeah, very very similar. X-Men Origins. What movie is that? What X-Men Origins based on the game based around the movie X-Men Origins? Gerard, what's he on about?
No idea.
Yeah. I think there was an Origins game.
What about the Aliens?
Yeah, I remember the
games?
X-Men Origins game. The top view game that wasn't based on the movie, was it?
What about some of the Aliens games? Were they any? I never played them because I don't like
None of
horror.
them was based on the movie.
The Terminator game that came out last year or the year before. Apparently that was super good. I didn't play that either.
The fact that we've not heard of any of these games, no one's played any of them, I think is silly.
I mean,
You
the
haven't
original
heard.
Avatar, like the original Avatar game that came out back out in 2009, wasn't very good. James Cameron's
No.
Avatar, the game.
John said
right?
old school Robocop. I remember that with the one where you're just walking along the streets and he just
We had
points
it
up
ours on the
diagonally.
NES.
And just,
Yep.
Yeah, imagine that. Yeah, I suppose. But we're going back to. I think I played that on the Spectrum. That's going way back now. Jesus.
You are on the
Like,
spectrum.
Gee,
some of the
John.
like Batman games are actually pretty good. But
Batman-
that's,
oh, you
that
remember the
also
first
source
Batman when you tried the
material is-
Batmobile?
The source material is also from a comic, so I guess like the movies.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
But
Um,
well, there was the Batman movie game, but we're going back to now 1990s.
So it's still a game.
Yeah.
when was
on,
the
man.
last? When was the last time I made a game? It was like 1990s, 2 years ago.
I mean,
Um,
there's so many out there that are available now that have just kind of been movies and then turned into video games. It's always harder when you go the opposite way, and that's where we find like games that are turned into movies are usually awful. And I find like movies that are turned into games tend to land a bit better than the other way around. Yeah.
I think the biggest problem for video games being then transitioned into movies is they need to have the same writers
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
games write the fucking
Yeah.
movie script.
like whoever wrote the script for the game Doom, didn't write the script for the movie with The Rock.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Or about Mario. Jesus Christ. Let's put it on the air. Let's flip it. Movies that are based on games. How bad are they? Jesus Christ.
Usually pretty bad.
Yeah, they usually are pretty bad.
How do they always get them wrong? Because the games, usually games are the massive successes. They always pick games that are a massive success. So the story's already there. Just fucking copy it. And they don't. They just come up with their own shit. Just completely change it. Look, even the
Or they
Street
put
Fighter
shit
movie. Do you remember that?
don't fit.
Yeah.
Don't even talk about what was
Awful.
that live action Dragon Ball Z movie?
Oh,
with all
no.
the American
And what about the-
actors. And I was like,
Oh, the
this
light,
is
yeah.
awful. Yeah,
It was awful. And it wasn't anything. And oh, no. I got a better
Avatar.
one.
Avatar was
Avatar,
awful,
yeah,
right?
The Last Airbender.
That was
Oh,
awful.
Actually,
God.
you know what was really good? I don't know if you guys remember there was a YouTube series out a couple of years ago, Mortal Kombat. That was done really, really well.
I remember
really?
that. It was
Did you
really
ever see
good.
that?
It was really good.
That was great.
Oh, actually,
that was done
Hi,
really
I
well.
remember,
Dauntless.
I remember watching a Street Fighter one that was really good.
Hmm.
I don't remember the Mortal Kombat one. There was a Street Fighter one that was YouTube only. That was really good.
Yeah, no, there was a Mortal Kombat one, man. You should check them out. They're really done
will.
really well. Yeah, they only go for like I think 15 minutes each, but
Yeah.
yeah, super good. So that was done well. I was hoping for a new Mortal Kombat movie
Well, I
from
find, like,
that, but
Some
Yeah.
TV series that you watch that are like really good high production, like actually have a really good story. Like you could easily turn them into a video game because of the fact you've got this extended story in them because of the amount of episodes that they release, and you could actually kind of tease it out and put gameplay in and so on and so forth. And so I feel like doing it that way is easier than it is going the opposite way. Like when you've got a really big game and trying to condense it into a movie, like why turn it into a movie? You could actually make a really good 8-episode TV show or something like that. I mean, yeah. Guess what, guys? I finally finished watching Halo.
I still haven't.
Finally finished watching it.
I still haven't. I've still got the last 3
I still haven't watched it. Yeah, I need to watch them. Yeah. Well, it's just so much on now because I've been watching The Boys, and then there's now you've said Umbrella thingy. Yeah.
Umbrella Academy, yeah.
What's the other thing I was watching? Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna watch Halo. I need to watch. I was gonna watch Uncharted tomorrow, the movie as well. Is that? Oh, there we go. There's another one. Uncharted. Why didn't any of you bring? Oh, Try Hard. Where were you? You didn't mention Uncharted, did you?
I heard that the casting for that was not ideal. That's what I heard.
No. Just look at it. Yeah.
I'll watch it for the sake
I've
of
not
watching
even-
it. Like I enjoyed.
I've not even played the
Tomb
games,
Raider movie with Alicia Vikander because she's awesome, and I think they're making a sequel. But I don't know how I feel.
It's just Mark Wahlberg with a moustache. I
Yeah.
mean, fuck.
Yeah, it's Mark Wahlberg being Mark
With a
Wahlberg
moustache.
because he only plays Mark Wahlberg, and then we've got Tom Holland that really doesn't fit Nathan Drake. I
Anything?
don't think at all.
No.
In build or stature or charisma or anything. It's just weird. It's almost like Sony are thinking that those Spider-Man movies, they did great.
Well, he does his
Yeah,
own
let's
stunts,
just put
right?
Tom Holland in all movies now. Yeah, just use him for everything now.
Yeah.
GT7, the movie. Tom Holland, let's do it. They're making a series on GT, aren't they? A movie on GT Gran Turismo, aren't they?
Like an actual movie or like a documentary series
Yeah,
thingy?
no, an actual movie. They've made a Gran Turismo movie.
What are you?
The story.
You can watch racing online anytime that you want. Like, why would you?
Be
I don't know.
prepared for the story. This
Okay.
took a lot of
All right.
planning. So Sony have really making movies of all their films,
The IPs.
their IPs. Yeah, all the boring ones. Unfortunately, they've not made a movie for God of War. They've made a boring got Last of Us, Uncharted, and Gran Turismo.
They're doing a TV series for God of War, aren't they?
Are they? Oh, that'd be awful. If you're gonna make a movie, make God of War the movie, not the TV series, because we know that'd be just low budget. It's gonna be awful.
I think TV series are more popular than movies these days.
Yeah, they are. They're making more money, but we know the budgets are much lower on them. But I mean, yeah, Morbius. Yeah, don't mention Morbius. That was awful. Another Sony. They've ruined Morbius. No, but the story, the plot to Gran Turismo is that a boy plays Gran Turismo, the game or something, and then something about his father dying, and then
So they're just going to make Tron, right? That's what I'm hearing.
But yeah, they've made yeah. I think Sony made Tron, didn't they? They've just basically converted Tron into the modern era. So he starts racing and then becomes a race driver. It's a teenage boy. Honestly, he's a teenage boy becomes a top class race driver.
All right. Well, for
Fantastic.
those of you guys, I think we're kind of we've finished off our last topic. We're at the end of the show. Thank you so much for joining Gamers Initiative podcast with myself, Ashtray Gaming, and Elite Gaming Guru. We'll be here next week, like I mentioned, and we have 2 guests planned for next week. And thank you all so much for joining us each week. We appreciate everyone in the chat. Like, it's Timmy's here, and like Dauntless, Tryhard, Fuck You, Pyro's in the chat. Wild Horse always shows up. Other Zinc shows up. All of you guys are amazing, and we love having you.
Lots of
here
people
every
jump
week.
in there.
Yeah.
John.
They're all waking up, I think.
Tim,
Yeah.
Sappho, yeah, Dauntless,
Yeah.
Triad, fuck
It's
you.
the time difference.
Pyro.
It's the time difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. I blame you, Elite.
Ashtray Gaming.
That's all I'm gonna do is blame you. But yeah, where can people find you, Ashtray, and yeah, before we head out.
Yeah, I can be found on Twitter causing trouble. I can be found on YouTube with my weekly videos. I dropped one last week. It only got like 5 views. Nah, I got like 20, but still, it didn't do very well.
Yeah, it takes a while. That 20 is quite good. How many subs you got?
87.
Yeah, so you roughly look towards get about quarter of your sub base, so you're doing fine. Yeah. If you look at all YouTubers, they usually get about a quarter of how many subs they have.
My video before that though was like 400 views.
Yeah, some do.
305 views.
Heavy.
Yeah. So anyway,
you need to join. Yeah.
So slowly but surely we'll get there with that. What else? So Twitter, YouTube, Xbox, all Ashtray Gaming, and you'll find me here on the Gamers Initiative podcast every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. my time, and I don't care about anyone else's time.
Yeah.
Smith in the chat.
And we need to get Boba Fett Gaming in here as well
Yes,
as a guest
Boba.
at some point in time.
You got to join us. Love having you here. Hi, Pete.
Oh, and Jedi Knight's joining us now. Everyone's jumping in now. Look,
well, that's the time difference, right?
All the Aussies are waking up.
Well, it's only 20 to 9 in the morning.
Drunk in comas.
Yeah.
I'm the only idiot that gets up early.
I'm not an early riser, and so 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning for me is like early.
I think the best way to see the show would be with neighbours.
No.
Everybody needs good neighbours.
Elite, the show's going to be on my channel for the rest of time now after you make that comment.
Fox fault.
And we're going to move the time out as well.
Yeah, we are. Definitely. It's not going to be in line with you anymore. You can join you can just join in the chat out later. No.
And our guests, Gaming Initiative.
Yeah. Gaming Initiative 1.
Oh, shit.
I did make that name up. Like Twitter gave that name because it hates me.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll just quickly get my stuff out of the way. You can find me being a
Yeah,
fraud
quick.
on Xbox and on Twitter, and really
True.
fraudulent on YouTube because I never put anything out. There's just
Very true.
lots of things happening on my end, and I hate myself for not delivering. But yeah, as per usual,
Very
we'll be
good.
back again next week, same time, with 2 guests.
Same channel.
You're probably going to hear me repeating myself, and it's not me repeating myself, it's just me and my twin. She's going to be
Okay.
on the show with us.
I see where
Poor
you're
you
complicating it.
guys. Yeah.
Can we maybe we should just number you next week?
She's B1 and I'm B2. Because she was
Yeah,
born first and
yeah.
I'm born second. There you
I
go.
think, and then we find if you can just put on a deeper voice or an accent or something.
We have an
It'd be a lot
accent.
easier.
It's a New Zealand accent. New
Yeah,
Zealand.
it's just, yeah.
Where is this going?
yeah.
All
If one of you
right.
could dress
okay.
up.
Well, thank you all for watching.
God damn it.
Yeah.
What's that calling you, Bobby?
Fuck's sakes.
Yeah. It's my middle name.
Oh no! End it quickly.
End it quickly. Guys,
Thanks everyone.
thank you. Bye.
Bye, y'all.